Well, welcome back to the Tin Barn. It has been a long while since I was on here last. As a matter of fact, I've only made one video in the past, and surgery, life, I all got in the way. But I'm going to try to get back into it. I've got a little project that I've been doing. I've been working on an easy trench, restoring it, and it has a Briggs and Stratton 8 horsepower motor, and the rewind starter on it is goofed up. And anyway, I need to replace it, and now they're all a new design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old design that fit a square clutch, and I'm going to take and remove the rewind starter itself, and I'm going to take and put a new style on, which uses the centrifugal claws. It'll take modifying the motor a little bit, modifying the flywheel housing a little bit, and we'll see how this works out. Well, I'm going to move over to the drill press to start with, and I'm going to take and drill the old housing off. The old recoil assembly was tack welded on, so the tack welds have got to be drilled off. One more leg and we'll have this recoil assembly loose. Now let's see how we're doing. Little screwdriver work. So, how many of y'all, when y'all are concentrating, have a little tongue action going? I have long been the laughing stock of my family over my tongue, but that's all right. I get things done, and that's what counts. There we go. Now that the old one's removed, I've got the new one in a box back here. I know I've opened this before. What a screen. That thing is heavy duty. Here is the recoil assembly that replaces what I just removed. And it has these paws that come out with centrifugal force and catch instead of using a clutch assembly. And this gets bolted to the flywheel. I have to take and cut the shaft off because it is long. But now that the old one was removed, I wanted to see just how this one would fit. Perfectly. Will fit perfectly. They have screws and nuts to hold this onto the, but before I do that, I'm going to touch up the paint on this. We'll get to that later. Well, that's all for this little segment. It has been a pleasure being with y'all again, and I hope that we'll be together a lot more. So long for now. There's 4 of them to hold this on, 4 legs on it. Makes good sense to me. I think I'm going to put a drop of Loctite on these screws when I put them all together so that it does not come undone. So if you like to come with me, we'll come around to, y'all gonna have to give me some hints on my cinematography, whatever it's called, how to hold the camera when I'm moving, things like that. Do I need to figure out how to get the camera higher when it's sitting here on the workbench? I don't know. Anyway, we've got the new recoil, and it operates so nicely, and it needs to go on here so that it pulls that way. So it pulls this way. It sets on the trencher, and when you pull it, you're standing back at the handle of the trencher, so it needs to go over the tire, and this will orient it such so that it starts in that direction. Now, each screw has a lock washer on it. They look to be 5/16, so I need to get a 5/16 socket and ratchet. So if y'all bear with me 1 second here. And I'm back, and I was correct, it was 5/16. So put my socket and ratchet all together here. Now, to get a drop of I need to shake this up. So I hope everybody has been having a fine day. I have been on a short leash. The missus had a surgery, and I had been having to help her out around the house and keep an eye on her. Didn't want her falling and sitting for hours before somebody realized what had gone on. There's one. There's two. 3, 4. Now that everybody knows that I can count to at least 4, I sound like to count on one drop of Loctite. And count the 4 again. Let's turn this a little bit and get me back in the frame. But I have never installed one of these before. I have been looking at the screen that goes in it to protect your fingers, and I might have it figured out. Of course, I might be all wrong, and it gets put in upside down, backwards, I don't know. But we're going to give it a shot. If nobody gets hurt, I'll call it a success. Well, if I get it put together at all, I'll call it a success, maybe. I can't even find the screw. One more. Yep. Okay. And now I find out that a socket won't even get into it. Okay. The nuts that go on are probably 3/8 or something. I won't call it a 3/8. So let's try to get a 3/8 here. This is my toolbox row. It is not the most organized, but I find it adequate to get done what I need to get done. The way my back has been feeling the last few days, chasing down that socket is okay until I have to bend down and pick it up. That's one. That's two. That's three. And that's four. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I have completed some of the work over on the trencher itself. I just removed a few minutes ago the flywheel housing so that I could look at it and try to figure out how this screen fits in to the new workings, which this is the pawl catcher, I'm going to call it. I don't know what the real name for it is, but we've got it. We'll come over here. Now, I need to get this yaw set up. Call it yaw. so that you can see what's going on. The old setup used the clutch that spun freely one way, and then when it turned the other way, there's some balls in there that catch it and causes it to turn the flywheel, thus starting the motor. This part worked fine, but the recoil assembly, it failed, and little tabs that hold things in had been used and broke off, and so it was time to do something else. And so I have gone with this new style. Never had used it before, but we're going to give it a try. First thing I need to do is remove the spring. I could use a power tool to help me out a little bit here. Now that that screen's removed, they have a tool here that is used to remove these clutch assemblies. I don't know what the part number for it is. I picked this one up back in May of 2021, actually, off of Amazon. But it just catches between the tangs that the screen screws onto, and that's it. Saves a whole lot of banging with the hammer. If you don't have one of these tools, you can take you a block of wood or something and put up against one of these ears and give it a good wrap, and it's going to take 5 or 6 wraps, but and that'll break it loose. And there's a little spacer that's in here that you need to make sure it doesn't get tossed out with your old clutch. Now, the next thing is I need a rag. Let me find a rag. I keep a Okay, this shaft that is on here sticks out way too far. This cup for the pawl, it gets bolted on, and the recoil assembly that we just bolted on to the flywheel housing, it has to stick inside this cup, and the paws engage these grooves. With this shaft there, the paw cannot go inside the cup, so it has to get cut off. And this kit has no instructions whatsoever. I can't find a kit that does have instructions. And I did find on YouTube somewhere where they said to leave an eighth of an inch sticking out from the threads where this bolts back on. So I have a tool that I have borrowed that is made just for cutting shafts. Thank you, Jerry, for the use of your tool. I see why all those guys have so much trouble on YouTube with doing things one-handed, trying to carry a camera. Okay, I've got my drill. I've got my drill. I've got the tool here. This tool has an abrasive cutoff wheel on it, and it has a clamp. That clamp slides over the shaft and clamps onto it, and then you take a drill on here and spin it and turn it down so that it cuts off your shaft. Kind of a cool tool, and we're going to give it a try right now on this trencher. Let's see. I need a battery. Looks like it's spinning straight and true. Now, it would really be nice if y'all could get in here. I want to take and move the camera. Y'all don't want to see me, y'all want to see what's going on. Okay. Okay. Okay, we got the shaft cut off. It looks like it did a nice job of it. I need to take a file to it and touch it up. We'll come over here. file. Okay, got it filed down. It seems to be okay. Let's try the nut on it. The nut seems to fit fine. Put the cup on there. Let's see. Wonder what size that is. It's larger than 7/8. (15/16) is a winner. Thank you for bearing with me for a second there. I had to go chase down the tools that I need for this part of the install. Okay. Uh-oh. 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 I think I'm gonna move y'all. Y'all can better see me. I think that I have put that cup on, and I should have put this screen on beforehand. Okay, now that we have that, we have the flywheel housing to go back on. Ow. It's a finger pincher. And now I need a screwdriver. Need some help getting this flywheel housing back in its proper place. Okay. Got one started. Got two started. But that is not the hard ones. The hard ones are down here. We're going to take and we're going to move y'all over here. I'm going to get down here. Can't believe I got that one started. This one's going to be the bear. It is way up here, and it is I don't know how we're going to get to it. Am I even in this shot here? Sorry to be so quiet, but it is a bear getting this here bolt in. But it is started. Okay, time for another tool. I don't know if this will fit in there. It's not going on it. Not going on it. Okay, that one is on and it's tight. Now, get the others. And this is a different size. Got two down, two to go. My refrigerator is froze up this morning. It was froze up the other day. Cut it off, let it thaw out, and started it back up yesterday morning. Well, it got up the temperature, but it didn't cut off and thaw out itself. Okay. Am I making y'all dizzy, moving y'all too fast? I should have gave this a tug to see if it was gonna work or not. We're gonna have faith. Almost there. Okay. Let's see. Give it a little pull. Aha. It seems like it's going to work perfectly. So I don't want to start it up on this stand. This recoil assembly came off of my old generator that's sitting over here. Of course, my generator's got a vacuum cleaner sitting on top of it. It's a little hard to recognize for what it is. Okay. Now all I gotta do is get the 4 bolts that hold that on, put it back together. But that's not for right now. Right now, we're going to get this mess put away. Get this tool put away. That's a right handy tool. Could be done with a cutoff wheel and a grinder. Oop, I left the shaft in it. There's the shaft they got cut off, right pretty if you ask me. Well, thank you to Jerry for making that job easier. Well, until I get it started up, that was the installation. The Amazon has the part number for that listed as 693900. So, and it covers this engine and a multitude of engines. And like I said, it's the new style, and you have to do all this other work to get it to fit. I was having a difficult time on the internet, finding at YouTube a video that showed how to do it, and that's why I said, well, it'd be a perfect video to make. Can't find it anywhere else. So thank you for joining me here at the Tin Barn, and I hope that I'll be back on some more videos very soon. And praise God for what we were able to do today. Um, I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.